Hi guys, my name is Mehek and I'm back again to talk about this book that I finished reading recently. It's called Japonisme. It's by Erin Nimi Longhurst. It's a beautiful white hardcover book. I love hardcovers, like I said earlier. So off lately I'm reading a lot of Japanese philosophy reads. I love these books. They provide you with these practical tips and inspiration that you can imbibe in your life and bring about mindfulness, contentment, and lead a happier life. That is basically their motive. So what I usually do is, because I read a lot of fiction as well and fantasy, when it gets really heavy, I kind of take a break and balance it out with self-help books. They're kind of compared to fiction, they're kind of light and an easy breezy read. That's what I call them. And plus, they provide you with a lot of inspiration. Now, also for someone who is not into the habit of reading, or gets really bored of reading because there's only text, you can pick up one of these Japanese philosophy reads because they are filled with beautiful illustrations. I mean, just flipping through the pages, like it's beautiful, the illustration. So you can pick up these reads, and it's a nice treat to the eyes. um, Going ahead, talking about this word, Japonisme, it was first coined in 19th century. That's when it came into existence. That because there was a lot of craze for Japanese art and culture then. And moreover, if you would have noticed in the past few years, there are a lot of books that have come out, which talk about Japanese art and culture and their lifestyle. That's because if you go back in the history, Japan as a country was, literally kept in isolation from any foreign influence. They even had, it's mentioned in the book that they even had this foreign policy which basically kept, all the foreign influence outside their country. So obviously, if something is isolation, you automatically develop a curiosity for it. So that's when people got really curious about Japan as a country and its lifestyle and its art and its culture and everything. Moreover, in 2017 there was this article by WHO, that spoke about how Japan still leads the way globally in having, the longest life expectancy compared to other countries, and a lot of factors are behind it. Obviously, the food they take and the lifestyle that they have. So the author has kind of tried to do the same thing in this book. Now, if you see, there are a lot of books in the market, of the individual subjects. Like you have Ikigai, you have Wabi Sabi, and everything. So the author has kind of accumulated all of that in this book, and the book is talking about the book now. It is distributed in three parts. The first part talks about habits or tricks related to mind and your heart. The second part talks about, again, tricks and tips related to your body, related to your surrounding that you can imbibe. And third one talks about, just taking care of all these, tricks that he's spoken in part one and part two, and how you can form a habit, what are the steps that you can take in order to form all of these tricks into a habit, and how do you stick to it. So yeah, that is it about. So I'm going to basically, one by one, just take you through my favorite parts in the book, and so that it will give you a little more idea about what the book is all about. And I think towards the end, I would just like to tell you if you should be really reading this book or not. So yeah, just bear with me as I flip through the pages. And I'm going to show you some beautiful illustrations. For example, see this. It's beautiful. It's one of the street in Tokyo, I guess, Japan. It's beautiful. Okay, so in the first part, the author has given a few things which are related, like I said, which are related to your mind and heart that you can imbibe, for a happier lifestyle. The first is Ikigai. Now, there is a separate book on it. It's the book became so famous, it was almost like cult. I remember everyone asking, "Have you read it, Ikigai? Have you read Ikigai?" So it's a beautiful book. I have read it. So the first, it talks about that. It's called the Ikigai. It's, which is basically finding your purpose in life, something that pushes you to get up every morning, is like a fuel to the motor. It pushes you every morning and you want to go out and achieve and do something about it. So the author says that it's very important that that you recognize your purpose in life, and you know what is your ikigai. Now he also mentions a beautiful thing that for people, I mean, you shouldn't compare. For some, some people, like he says that everyone knows their purpose in life. It's just that we're too busy living someone else's purpose, or comparing ourselves to others, that we don't know what our purpose in life is. So he says that for some people their ikigai could be, for example, taking care of the house, taking care of their kids, and for some their purpose would be to excel at their workplace, and that's exactly okay. Each one of us can have different ikigai, but it's very important to know what your purpose in life is. Like, there's a beautiful illustration here. I'll read out the quote. It says, "If you try, you may succeed. If you don't try, you will not succeed. This is true of all things. Not succeeding is the result of not trying." So it's important that you try and find your purpose. Okay. I hope you don't find it too much gyan. But yeah, I just like discussing about things in the book that really touched my heart and will stay for me for long. So I hope it benefits you as well. There's one more practice that he says, again, a practice related to your mind and heart that you can do, which results in a happy lifestyle. This is called having gratitude at work. He says a very nice, there's a term for it. Again, bear with the pronunciation. It's Otsukaresama. It's Otsukaresama, Japanese word. It basically means having gratitude for work and having gratitude for your colleagues. So it says that at the end of the day, when you meet your colleagues, you express your gratitude. You tell them that, oh, you have had a hardworking day and you deserve so much more, and thank you for your contribution, and you're doing a great job. So that's very important. And that made me really think that it is such a nice practice if we can imbibe it every day. Meet our colleagues at the end of the day and tell them, good job, and you did fabulous today, and you're really working hard, and stuff like that, which basically motivates and helps a person. um this second Another thing in this part that he has discussed, so I fold these pages so that I can read it out to you, is cycling again, which again is, I mean, I don't need to dwell further in it, but each one of us knows the benefits of cycling. And in fact, I am planning to buy a cycle next month and get into the habit of cycling again. I really want, that's my motto, to travel to my work with cycle to and fro. I hope I can achieve that. But yeah, he talks about the joy of cycling. Another thing that is related to mine that he talks about, something that I used to do it very often when, a few years back, but somehow I stopped it, is playing Sudoku. So, which is a game, which comes in newspaper wherein you're supposed to fill the numbers. It's basically something that engages your mind and which is really good for it. So if you can do that, it engages your mind and ensures the health of your mind. So that's important. Another thing which is my favorite topic, especially for this year, and I'm actually going to do a different video talking about this thing. It's called gratitude. I can't even stop talking about it because it's such an important thing to have in our life. So I'm not going to talk a lot of detail on it because I want to do a separate video talking purely on this. But basically the author says that having a positive attitude and the attitude of gratitude is very important. Just notice around every small blessings in your life, and it is important to have gratitude in your life. Again, there's a cute illustration with a cat here. It says, "One who smiles rather than rages is always the stronger." So make sure you're always having your brightest smile on the face. Okay, this video is getting longer. I didn't intend, but I think, yeah. So the next topic is again my favorite. It's called wabi sabi, not the sauce that we eat, but yeah, it's the beauty. Wabi sabi basically means finding the beauty of imperfection. There are two lines that I really want to read it out to you. It's so beautiful. He says, "Wabi sabi to me is being inside when it's raining outside, the laughter lines on a face, or feeling pleasantly sated after a simple lunch." Basically, it is finding, imperfections, beauty in imperfections. Like, you accept for example, you accept the process of aging. You accept that you're going to get wrinkles, and you manage to find beauty in it. So that is what Wabi Sabi talks about. Another thing that he has listed, here is, it's about enjoying the simpler things in life, without being overindulgent, and finding the beauty and charm in the distress, well worn item of clothing and how it can bring joy. For example, although we have so many, new clothes in our wardrobe, but there's that one worn out t shirt which brings so much happiness and comfort. I have like two, three t shirts like this which are absolutely worn out, but I love them so much. They bring so much comfort to me. So that's what he says, that your life is filled with a lot of imperfect moments, but it's important that you find beauty in them, and always look for beauty. For example, he says, the author says, that I always had a lot of I have a lot of freckles on my face, but one of my girlfriend, told me that they look really beautiful on you, and it kind of makes you look more handsome. And that's when he said, I fell in love with my freckles. So yeah, just accept your imperfections and fall in love with them. And moving on to next, which is in continuation with finding your imperfections, is the art of Kinsugi, which is, I'm sure if you see, so for example, there's a broken pot or something, so instead of throwing it away, they kind of join it with the it's a lacquer kind of a material which is gold in color. So that's again finding beauty in imperfection. So you don't throw things, you repair them. And yeah, he says that it's important that you repair them, and embrace it's important that you embrace your flaws and imperfections. That is what he says. Moving on to next part, which is related to body, which is related to your surroundings. It's called the first it's called karada, which is means the body. A few things that I like in this, the first is, nourished by nature, which basically includes, forest bathing. The author says that it's so important that you go out and engage with nature, few minutes or an hour or so in the nature can bring so much peace. I mean, I have noticed this, like during lockdown, I usually, we're locked, not literally locked, but you have to spend your times indoor. But I have a garden in my building premises, and even if I manage to go down and sit for half an hour, it brings so much peace to me and I feel so happy. So that is what he says, go out and indulge with nature. Similarly, he says, if for example, when you go every day to office, and if you're lucky enough to have a green space near to your office, so just get down, in lunch break, even if it's for 10 minutes, and just engage with nature, because that is so important. He talks about that. And then again, beautiful illustration. He says, I took a walk in the woods and came out taller than the trees. It's a beautiful saying. Yeah, moving ahead. After this, there were few chapters which, basically I feel, for me, I skipped it. For example, there's a topic on food. There's a topic on chapter on flower arrangement, plants and everything. I skip because I am not a person who's a chef. And besides, the food and the ingredients that they're talking in the book, you won't find them easily in India. So I basically skip them. Again, with regards to flower arrangement, you won't find those flowers easily. With regards to plants, like for example, I'm a person, I literally don't have a green thumb in my body. Like, I don't think so I'm someone who can take care of plants. So yeah, if you're not that, then those chapters will be something which you would not be interested in. So basically, you could skip them, and that is what I did. But something that I really liked in the food chapter, when the author says that it's very important that when we're eating, make sure that you eat, and when you're 80% full, you need to stop eating. So you shouldn't be eating and wait till the time you're uncomfortably full. So it's important that you eat till you're 80% full. That's the key that all these Japanese people maintain, which I really liked, and I think I'm just trying to imbibe that in my life. Another important thing, in the next chapter that he's discussed, besides forest bathing, is about hot springs. That is something that's not, again, easily possible for a lot of people. But he talks about bathing, how that can also be a very healing ritual, wherein you kind of are relaxing in a bathtub and you kind of drain out your frustrations and everything. He's given a recipe of a beautiful, nice smelling bath salt that you can make. It's a detailed recipe here, again with a nice picture. So yeah, that is again that he's spoken about. The last thing that in this chapter he's spoken about is, about home, like how you can keep your home, clutter free, and your wardrobe clutter free, and throw away, or I mean not throw away basically, but give away, donate away the clothes that you don't need anymore. One thing, I didn't read it in this book, but I came across in a book that I read previously. It was Zen Living, and we really, have started doing that. So he says a very nice thing. He's like, I come to know the state of the people who are staying in the home by, how they have arranged the footwear outside their home. So a lot of times, even before we used to just come and, just remove our slippers or footwear outside, and they used to be not arranged always in a very linear or organized way. And he says, that kind of tells me, the mindset of the people living in the house, and it's kind of like how the footwear is in a clutter, their mindset is going to be the same. So I think after that I shared with my parents this, and after that we have, like, if you come to my place outside, the footways are absolutely arranged in a one straight linear line, one after the other. So I think yeah, that's an amazing tip. And yeah, that's about it. And these are the things, basically tricks that he's given that you can follow in your life. The last part is basically, he's talking about how, habit forming is necessary. And you need discipline in your life in order to imbibe all these tips and tricks that he's shared. And one of my personal trip, he says that, it's important that you be consistent. One of the my favorite, tip that he shared in making sure that you stick to your habits is having a to-do list. For example, me, I love to-do lists. Like every morning I get up, or one night prior I make a to-do list and write every small detail that I need to achieve next day. And then, the joy of ticking it all one after the other is just amazing. So yeah, that really helps if you want to stick to a habit, or you want to accomplish an activity. So yeah, that was this book all about. As I said, it's filled with beautiful illustrations. But I would just suggest that if you want to skip reading this book, you can, because there are 2 3 chapters, like I said, which might not interest you, which is on food and flower arrangement, and getting plants from outdoors to indoors, and planting various bonsais and everything. So that might not interest you. In that case, I would just suggest, like I said, previously, that in the market you have different titles. Like you have Ikigai as a different book, you have Wabi Sabi as a different book, you have Forest Bathing as a different book. So if you're interested in one of these chapters, I would suggest that you pick up those books rather than picking this one. Otherwise you'll have to just skip through chapters that you don't like. Yeah, so that's about it. This book, again, I picked it up from Amazon. It's for 500. But do give a try to one of these Japanese books. The Zen Living is really nice, very, full of positivity. And, all these books have a really feel good factor. So yeah, let me know if you pick one of these books and if you like. And yeah, I think the video has got really long. That was not the intention. But I hope you enjoyed the book, the illustrations, and the beautiful things that I came across. Thank you so much.